Hi Lana, welcome once again to Lana's Coach. We want to take a look at how to write a research paper using artificial intelligence, right? Now, you are at liberty to maybe use this information to come up with your own research paper, but it's not a must that you use the kind of platform that I'm going to show you. Ideally, this is just for information purpose. What I always emphasize that if you're using AI to write your research paper, don't use all the information from AI 100%. Remember, you are a human being. You need to do some kind of study. So these are just guide, right? So that at least you understand how you can come up with a research paper in a very efficient and effective way, right? But before that, there are some things that we had mentioned previously about how to come up with a research proposal. So be guided. You can check the link. I've provided the link to a research proposal video so that you can know how to format your research proposal. Actually, if you go to the channel, you can just search for it. So you just need to come to our channel. I've actually even searched for my own channel here. So you just need to click on the search button here. Then just type research proposal. It will there are quite a number of sorry, don't know whether it's going to pull that. Okay, it has. So I also shared how you can format your research proposal, and actually this formatting, you can also use it to format your research paper that you're going to talk about right now. So kindly just go through these particular two videos for the research proposal on how to format it and how to create one, right? So let's go back and see what we need to do for now. So we need to understand first what are the parts of a research paper, right? Remember, you'll be guided first by the research proposal. That's why I've told you to just click within the description. I've shared the last proposal that we made. So we are going to base our research paper on the previous research proposal. Remember, for you to come up with a research paper, you need to have a research proposal in place, right? So what are these parts of a research paper? You need to have a title that should be accurate, complete, and specific, and should identify the paper's main topic or message. So that's the first thing that we need to find out. The second thing about our research paper, we need to talk about introduction, that is going to introduce the topic. We also need to talk about literature review, which will provide the background and context of our paper. Of course, talk about methodology. Now, these four, we are in fact title, introduction, and methodology. At least some are captured within the proposal, right? So methodology here, you rely on the proposal you gave. So details of how the research was conducted, and of course results that are going to be presented, present the data collected, and of course discussion explains what the results are. And then lastly, you are going to have a conclusion which summarizes the study and implication and explains if the hypothesis was supported or rejected, right? So ideally, we are going to borrow a lot from the proposal that we have to give recommendation. So gives concrete ideas about how further research can be conducted. So these 8 elements or these 8 parts of a research paper is going to guide us on how we are going to use AI to come up with a research paper. So we are going to have them somewhere so that we keep on prompting the AI to give us the correct information. But as I'd mentioned earlier on, or in the previous video, we talked about research proposal topic. So you need to have a topic. And our topic that we discussed was about exploring the impact of social media on student learning, factoring the benefits, distractions, and academic performance. So we can use this, or we can twist the research paper title a bit so that we have a different view. But for me, we are going to use AI to just build on top of this research proposal topic that we had given. So let's check what is going to be our research paper, not proposal this time, research paper topic. So let's dive into the AI and see how it can help us come up with a research paper. So I know you are wondering which AI tool is this. This is the obvious ChatGPT, but most of us don't know how to use it appropriately, right? Because people just type the entire thing, give me maybe some, or write for me a research paper. No, you have to go step by step so that you fine-tune the research paper, right? So what I've done first is that I've highlighted the key areas that you're going to use to prompt it for, to guide us, right? So first, we looked at the research proposal title, which was exploring the impact, this one, right? So what we can say, let me just copy that. We want to come up with the title for a research paper, right? So we want to prompt it to give us a given research paper title based on the research proposal title. So you can say kindly give or provide an appropriate research paper title based on this research proposal, maybe topic, you can say that. Then I'll just paste that. Remember we copied it, right? So I think can you provide, sorry, I pasted it in the wrong place. Let me just undo this. So I think this is the correct one. So kindly provide an appropriate research paper title based on this research proposal topic, right? Maybe you can have a dash there so that it gets. Then we can finally just tap on the enter key. Let's see. Okay. So that is it. So it's giving us an appropriate research paper title for your proposal. So that's very important. Remember, you can't come up with a research paper if you don't have a proposal, and that is what we have made the AI to guide us, right? And of course, so the dual impact of social media on student learning, analyzing the benefits. So what we need to do, we can go ahead and have this aside. So you can just copy this so that we track. So this is now our title, right? So you kindly just get an editor. It could be Word, it could be this. Remember, after this, we'll have to again refine it by customizing the content of the AI generated information. So we have this title now is done. So we have the title for our research paper. So we need to have introduction, right? So again, we can say proceed and give me an appropriate, I like using appropriate so that it matches, appropriate should be appropriate. Proceed and give me an appropriate introduction or research introduction for the research paper, right? Good. So proceed and give me an appropriate introduction for the research paper. So you prompt it. Okay, so that is the introduction for a research paper, right? So then you just pull it from there. We go and place it. So we are done with that. So we have the introduction for our paper. Then we now need to look at the literature review, right? So maybe I'll just copy this, and then also provide So we also provide the correct literature review for the research paper, right? So we want it to give us an appropriate literature review, right? So it's pulling all the literature review that we can associate with our research. You can see even there's some kind of reference, right? You can see. Remember, literature review is normally a very lengthy one, so you have to give it. Okay. So the conclusion of our literature review is there. Remember, our literature review has some conclusion and so on. So you can just come here and copy this. So that is our literature review. So literature review is after the introduction. So again, I'll paste it there. I'm taking time so that at least we know what we are doing. So literature review again, and you're guided by the main parts of the research paper. So literature review is done. Of course, methodology. Now, as we proceed by prompting it to give us these parts of the paper, remember it already has some understanding of what we need to ask it, right? So we can say also provide me with the correct methodology, isn't it? Methodology kindly used for the research paper. You can state research for the research paper, or you can indicate for the research paper above. All is just the same, but always have the research paper so that you guide it appropriately. Otherwise, it's going to start producing a different thing. Okay, so if you scroll down, so methodology, remember this methodology should link with your research proposal. So it's based on what you had proposed to use, right? That's why I say that after the end of this, you need to refine your information from the AI. So I'll just copy this. Again, we come here. So can just have this one up. Then we paste it. Right. So we are done with, I believe, 3 parts. I'm taking time so that at least we get it right, and then we have the results, right? So kindly provide the results for the research paper. Research. So I'll prompt it and then enter. So okay, so it's even telling you, since the data analysis have not been conducted yet, I cannot provide the actual. Actually, I was just trying out this, right? Actually, results is based on the actual field, maybe work that you have done. You have provided the surveys and all that, right? But we are also guided by what it is going to look like. So this is fixtures information. So don't rely on this result. So results here, I'll be cautious to really recommend that you go and do the actual field work. Field work simply means you go and provide the surveys, questionnaires, and all that, right? So that you have the right data, right? So for now, we are assuming that these are the results that you're going to use, and you can see. So you can just package them like this, right? So this is how you are going to package your result. So the actual results, data collected during the result, right? So I know some of us, and that's why you'll always be guided to not use everything that is generated from the AI. Otherwise, you're going to mislead people with your results or research, right? So we're assuming that after you've done your actual data collection and you've analyzed it appropriately using some tools such as SPSS data, you can therefore produce such kind of information. So after results, you need to maybe also can prompt it to assist you come up with some discussion, believe, right? So can say also provide the discussion part of this research proposal. Okay, so we also can ask it to give us some kind of discussion which actually talk about some interpretation, right? So you can see, okay. So mostly I'll always recommend, again, as I repeat, just use this information to help you come up with your own research paper, but don't use this information 100%. So this is a guide, right? Mostly this is a guide, and you can see it's giving you some easy time rather than just starting from scratch. Good. So we have a discussion. Let's also see how the conclusion can come. Some of the information you can use them here, right? But some you have to, like from the results, that one you have to do the groundwork. So we have, let's say, what about the conclusion of the research paper? Okay, so again, give it time to produce for us some conclusion. So there we go. It gives us some in-depth conclusion talking about consequences, limitation, future results, future research, I mean, right? So again, copy that, then let's have it here just at the bottom, paste these. So that is then come here. Then lastly, recommendations, right? So we can also prompt it to give us some recommendations. You can just even tell it finally give the appropriate recommendations. So that's appropriate recommendations for the research paper. Okay, so ideally this is the final part as far as our main parts of the research proposal is concerned. So again, you wait for it to generate for us some of the recommendations that we can also use in our final paper, right? So those are the good. So what you should pick from this is that I have gone step by step. You can see I've not just told it to write for me a given research paper, right? I've guided it appropriately, right? So that's what you should be able to do, so that you give it some, you have some logical arrangements of the AI thought, right? So I'll just paste this one here, right? So you don't need to have this, so you can always just delete, right? Then now we can go ahead and pick all this information, right? So it's time to proceed, and maybe let's assume you have done everything correctly. You have to remove those asterisks, format the grammar, right? But don't use all the information here. These ones are just to guide you. Let's see how many pages this one could result. Remember, this is a research paper. It should be a little bit lengthy compared to the let's just place it here on the Word document. I was saying that the research paper should be lengthy compared to the research proposal, right? So this one can take quite a number of pages, right? So you need to format it. I've shown you to go to there's a video that we mentioned how you can be able to format. So for now there are actually 19 pages. Now remember, the final research paper is going to have the diagrams, yeah, like for example, those particular t-tests. If you're using the ANOVAs, you will have to present the tables here, so it's going to actually add more pages on your research paper. And of course you'll also adjust this. So we're not going to format this, right? Remember also, you need to, at the top here, you also need to have what? The preambles. The preambles which actually captures the abstract, table of content. We also have acknowledgements and all that. So that one, generally this one should make your research paper be about 30 pages, right? 30 pages or so. So kindly be guided again. Don't use everything here. This is just a way to help you come up with your original research paper in a fast manner, or in a fast way, right? So you have the roadmap. You can adjust or rather customize this information to suit your final research paper. So I believe you can see how it is easy to come up. In less than 20 minutes, you can always have a rough draft of your final research paper. So yours is just to go to the field, collect the data, then come and do some kind of review of this particular document, right? So if you like the information, give it a thumbs up. All right, thanks.